Hi, everyone. And I'm your host for And Then More Love, a podcast where we explore what it means to live a meaningful and loving and joyful life. So, how are you? So good to see you. I am so glad to have you welcome you back with me today. And the question is, how are you? Have you asked yourself this question? I mean, truly asked yourself. I remember some years back, I was going through some really tumultuous times, personal transformation in my relationship world. And somebody asked me, and it was just this random stranger at a gym. And she was like, "Hi, Chrystal, how are you?" And I was like, "How am I?" And then I was like, "Well, let me tell you how I am." And I told her, I said, "My world's falling apart. I have two little children. I'm a single mom. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I'm scared and I feel alone. That's how I am." And I'm at this point, I was sobbing. And this lovely woman at the gym, who I just saw randomly, took a step back, understandably, took a step back from me. But then she did something quite miraculous. She stopped, she took a breath, and she stepped towards me. And she said something that really transformed my life. She said, "Divine order is always at work in your life, and all is well, even when it seems that it isn't." And she gave me a hug and she helped me wipe my tears. And I went home and I wrote it on my bathroom mirror, and it changed my life. This random stranger, which I call an angel, I think we have both visible and invisible angels. She was one of my angels in this life. And the funny thing about this woman is that I never saw her again. But I'm forever grateful that she asked me the question, "How are you?" And she gave me the space to be truly honest and just to think about it. I think most of the time when someone says, "How are you?" I think our normal response is, "Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Fine, 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 fine." But are we really fine? And the fact is, maybe in that moment we are fine. But I would venture to say, most of the time, it's a little deeper than that. It's okay to be fine and say that I'm fine in the context of we don't want to, wash our dirty laundry in public. But I want you to ask yourself this question in the privacy of your own heart and mind and soul, not as a means of judging yourself or opening the floodgates, but as a moment of recognition of who you truly are. Had I not answered that woman from my heart, from my soul, with all my vulnerability, and by the way, it takes a lot of strength to be vulnerable. Had I just said, "Oh, I'm fine," and carried on in the gym, she carried on, I would have never had the awakening that I have, that was spurred from that and sparked from that moment. And I would have never received this beautiful message, which, by the way, this message was not just for me, but it was for me to share with you. We are spiritually connected, soulmates of many lives. If you're watching this, my belief is that you're meant to be watching it, and that this message, divine order, is always at work in your life, and all is well, even if it seems that it's not, is a message for you and for your heart, and to comfort you and to carry you and to cradle you. And just, what I did with this message is that it sparked inside of me a space of hope where I could look out through the cloudy day and foggy windows and the dirtiness of that moment in my life, of that really harsh time in my life, like the storm of that time. And there was a speck of light, and there was a reason to hope. Her words, as kind and her warm embrace as they were, carried me through a time in my life where I might have given up hope, which would have not only affected my life, but would have affected my children's lives and the lives of many others. You see, we're all connected. There are people out there who wouldn't make it without your love and your light and your presence. And you may not even know how much you impact their lives just by being you. You don't have to be a saint and walk on water. You just get to be you and shine your light in the way that you most beautifully can. Beautiful and broken as you are, your love, your light is a testament to the truth of the divinity that's alive within all of us. The light of the divine, the energy or the movement of God that's alive in every cell in our bodies. I'm forever grateful for this woman. And by the way, I never saw her again, but I'll never forget her. I'm not sure if she was avoiding me. I don't think so. I think it was a divine appointment and she had a message for me. And that was what was needed in that moment and for my life and to share with you. And this is like 20 years ago, guys. Like, this is a long time ago. And yet I still hold her and her message close to my heart. And on those days when the clouds are heavy and skies are dark and it's hard to breathe, and the world is in chaos and there's loss, there's betrayal, there's disappointment of self, of others, I still hear her words. I still feel her love. Divine order is always at work in your life, and all is well, even when it doesn't seem like it is. So as you make your way through your sunny days and stormy skies, through your blossoming and your wilting, and your receiving and your letting go, you will be challenged. I mean, this life, the human experience is really quite the gift, because we come in as spiritual beings to have this spiritual experience in a physical realm of contrast, choice, and change for the absolute bliss of the experience, to have the experience within the context of the particular life and environment and all the particularities of who we are in this particular embodiment. To have this experience, a lot of people think that enlightenment is something that we have to achieve. From my perspective, and after having this near-death experience so many years ago that really transformed my life, going off of a cliff and falling 80 feet. Well, we hit at 25 feet. We flipped 10 times and landed 80 feet at the bottom of the mountain, slamming into a wall of ice. And what I brought from that is that there's a lot more going on here than meets the eye, because I was outside of my body watching this event happen from this radiant space, embraced and cradled in omnipresent light and love, completely held, and shown that our lives are a gift and that we get to choose the path that we want. And one of the best gifts of being human is that we get to come into this shadowed existence of contrast, choice, and change, and veiled in forgetfulness, and find our way back to the light, back to the remembrance really of who we really are, and carry with us the sparkling bits of light and shadow pieces of the night that we collect along this journey. And we carry that with us back into the essence of our soul. And in this way, know ourselves and others and God more fully. And we are creative beings like the universe. We choose which direction that our footsteps move in the sand. And we get to decide what we want to do with our life. And it's an omnipresent, loving universe. No matter what you choose, you are loved, held in the highest regard as the child of the loving universe, the progeny of God. But you get to choose your life. And if you want to walk into the shadows, into the dark of night, that's a choice that's available to you. And if you want to turn around and walk toward the light and into the radiance of your own being and the radiance of the universe, that's also available to you. And, so many times in the spiritual community, there's this idea that walking toward the light is the way that we should go, when in fact, there's not a wrong or right way for each soul. If walking into the shadows, into the night, is going to be the spark that makes you shine brighter, that teaches your soul what you need to know, then that is the path that is the most radiant for you, at least in that moment. So when we ask this question, how are you? Or when someone asks you, how are you? Or when you ask yourself, how am I? I want you to really check in with how am I? Am I honoring the deep longing of my soul to know myself, to know others, to know God more fully, to remember the truth of my existence, which is absolute bliss, the joy of just simply being me, with all of my sorrow, with all of my tears, with all of my joy, with all of my laughter, that I get to be me for however long this short incarnation is, this lifetime, 89 years, 100 years, 125 years apparently for our children. But however long, it's just a speck. Because if you think of ourselves as infinite beings, beings of light, born of an omnipresent creator, born of love, for the purpose of love, on a path to love, we shall return back to love. Then we see that everything that we do is a gift, and every single choice shifts slightly the compass. One of the most amazing things in this out-of-body experience, when I had a near-death experience, is I was shown that we have timelines that we're on. For example, Chrystal Ray right now is on a timeline that has led her to recording a podcast and asking you how you are, how I am, and asking herself, how am I? And this is a certain timeline that's in completion already. And the reason that I'm doing this is because it's what brings my soul the most joy currently, until I find a higher path or a lower path, because all things are available in the loving universe and everything is already in completion in the eternal now. So a slight shift in the compass towards the radiance or into the darkness is a different timeline. And it's not a judgment, it's just an isness. So when you ask yourself, how am I? Am I honoring my soul? Am I doing that which brings me the most joy? Or am I just fine, until the end of my life, and then it's over and I'm like, how was your life? Fine. Was it really fine? So here's the thing. As you get older, as I get older, I should say, and there's more time behind me than there is in front of me, every moment takes on more importance, it's more delicious, like it's more fragrant, more blossoming, because there's fewer of them. So this question of like, how am I, is all more important, because we come here to learn, to evolve, to grow, to share our light, to love, and to leave a legacy of love. So if you're listening to this and you're continuing to hear my voice, then it means that this message is for you. Like, I want you to know that your life is valuable, and that these small shifts in the compass, these random acts of kindness that you offer both to yourself and to others, they make the world a better place. And asking yourself, how am I? And recognizing like, wow, I need to be kinder to myself. I need to drink more water. I need to get to bed earlier. I need to be, I need to change jobs. I need to rethink my relationship. This is my beautiful life. And it offers you the chrysalis of change. When you say fine and you're just like in this automatic rote behavior, there's no opportunity for change. When I actually ask myself the question, how am I? Then I can look at those places in my life that are blossoming, that are fragrant, that are beautiful, and those places that need a little more care, a little more sunshine, a little more water, a little bit more soil, a little bit more love. And there's an opportunity for me to live a more joyous existence. And did you know that you are here, this life, for the bliss of your own existence? That you're meant to be joyful, and that joy, that bliss, it includes sorrow, tears, and pain, laughter, joy and elation, all of it's included. Like from the wider context of your soul, being human, being you is the most perfect expression, manifestation of the divine possible with all of the predispositions of your particular life. And you can never have this breath again. This moment, it's fleeting, it's gone. So my question, how are you, is so that you recognize the value of your beautiful life. Don't waste a single moment. Like when you notice that you're just saying fine, you're living this rote behavior, this automatic robotic life without any judgment, without any condemnation at all, just take a deep breath and choose again. Sit down. Sometimes journaling is a good thing to do. Write down the things in your life that are blossoming, that are fragrant and beautiful, and those things that need your love and attention. Set a path, like just small incremental changes. I think if we try to leap over tall buildings in a single bound, it's quite exhausting and impossible. But what is the next most radiant version of yourself that's possible in this moment? That's it. That's all you have to do is in each moment, how can I be a little kinder, a little bit more full of grace, a little bit more loving? How can I stand strong in my vulnerability? How can I be vulnerable in my strength? How can I truly honor my soul? And this can be little things like, put the bottle down, throw the cigarette away, don't answer that phone call or make that phone call. Get out of this automatic rote behavior of fine and do something that really brings you joy. I mean, it could be something as simple as like taking the neighborhood roads home that are blossoming, that are full of flowers and children, instead of getting on the busy, chaotic freeway, even if it takes you longer, or maybe just stopping at a park and getting your toes in the grass and waiting for the traffic to pass, drinking more water, getting to bed earlier, calling a good friend, being a good friend, finding community, doing those things that make your life better. We all have our challenges. We all have our dark nights. And I know when you're in the midst of it, it can be hard to ask yourself this question: how am I? I mean, it could be the same as what happened to me. How am I was like, I'm falling apart. I feel alone. I'm scared. And at least in that moment, there was an opportunity for me to acknowledge that this is how I was feeling. And then the universe sent me this beautiful woman and this beautiful message. Divine order is always at work in your life, and all is well, even when it seems that it's not. Trust the love, trust the radiance, trust the divinity that's found you. Know that you are not alone. We are all in this together. The reason that you are listening to my voice is because we are soul companions of many lives. And this message is meant for you. I mean, I came back to this life, shown the opportunity that I could leave the planet. I could just leave the planet in this horrific car accident that I was involved in. One of the possible timelines for me was to leave, just to leave and to go back home, back to the light, back to God. But what I chose is to come back. And why I come back is for this, exactly this, what I'm doing right now, is to share this message of unconditional love, to remind you of your own divinity, to remind you that you are loved, that you are cared for, and that there is divine order at work in your life, and that all is well, and that I love you. So I hope these words land softly in your heart. I hope they empower you and give you strength. And I hope that I see you again on the next episode. So from my heart, all my love, all my light, and all my blessings. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.